Dr. Leah. Not Dr. Leah, but in some ways you are Daughter Leah. Daughter Leah. You are the most spectacular of my daughters. I'm so amazed by you. I'm so proud of you. We have been out in this world, and I became enlightened long after I was close to you as a child. And I've been remiss. I haven't really taken the time to give you the training that every woman should get. I did not take the time, and I'm taking the time now. The way and the path of your life has been exceptional. You stand in the midst of the people as a remarkable example of a woman. And the lack of training that you got early on in handling your own body, in handling male human beings around you, was a gross and evil tragedy and a mistake. There are solid and steadfast principles around the male human being and around the female human being. Simply and enthusiastically put, the Holy Spirit of Jesus Christ is one gift, and the teaching of Christ to the apostles, this is the Son of God who teaches the details of how to be a man, a woman, an employer, an employee, how to interface with God. And he taught that information in his resurrection form to 12, and then he taught the precisely same information to one super young powerhouse rabbi way out in La La Land where there's no synagogues, and he was completely out of his element. When he, Rav Shaul, or the Apostle Paul, when he went to Jerusalem and compared notes and evaluated what they had separately learned from Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, and from the Father of Jesus Christ, they discovered that there was no difference in what that they had learned, which is so amazing, so amazing. The reality of the life of a rabbi, precious Leah, is this. A rabbi is trained from youth that he is a teacher and a namer of the things in this world. And that is in the flow of Adam, who God brought animals to and named them. That's what they were. So the role of male human being as namer and describer is fascinating. Then we all go all the way back and we look at the Garden of Eden, forget that there was ever a fall. And those two people, the man and the woman, would walk with Jesus in his shining white form, like you see in the passages about the Transfiguration. And when they walked, the male human being was skin, a penis, and little toes. He was God that issued forth from the Godhead and the Father. So Adam and Eve knew Adam was made in the image and shadow. Actually, those are the words in Greek, in Hebrew. God made the man in the shadow and image of himself. Now, it's so funny, in most translations, the word shadow doesn't appear. This is the reason why I sat with rabbis and Jewish tradition for so long, to really find out the bottom line on some of these things. God made us in the shadow and image / form of himself. That's talking about Jesus in his shining white form. And he puts the man in the garden after forming him out of dirt. And he is just like Jesus in his shining white form. Jesus is the steward of the entire cosmos. He can go wherever he wants to. And the man is an imitation of the shining white presence of Yeshua himself before there is woman. And so the man is designed in a form that has dominion, and in a form who describes and names the real deal of the things of this earth. The term Eden is a very complex term, and it means special atmosphere, delightful atmosphere. And it's literally the essence of presence of God. So the man is formed and he is put in the flowing presence of God. That's why you can't see physical Eden, because there's more dimensions in reality than there are just the ones we can see. God put the man into an atmosphere where he can actually see and know the extent of the entire cosmos, the entire universe. And then when Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden, the location is actually the perfect presence, the perfect bubble of life and truth that has no stain and no trouble in it whatsoever. It's lovely. And then you look at Jesus, and Jesus is alone. He is not partnered, but he's one with the Godhead. And then, doing this one-liner thing. Okay, God made the heavens and the earth, and he made this, and he said it was good. He made that, and he said it was good. He made this, and he said it was good. Then when he made man, he said, it is not good. And then of the flesh structure of man, when he formed woman, he said, it is very good. So the female human being is the last and most beautiful and wonderful part of all existence, all creation, better than anything else. And right there is where the reality has to be put in place. The woman has been given the gift of this beautifulness. But she also has a certain reality of submission and weakness compared to the namer. And that is one thing that in my tour of many atmospheres of conventional Christianity, that is the atmosphere where I begin, because I care about you so much. I have been observing men and women and families unaware of their weaknesses and their dangers. I have observed truly the laziness of the teachers. And the exceptional way that people, human beings, can actually choose not to research and discover the truth about the things that Jesus taught the apostles. Making assumptions, and often just doing what the other people are doing, to a point where the following of Christ becomes a pleasant game that we're all engaged in, but essential things that were taught to the 12 and that were put in place in the churches, in the gathered places, clearly put in place, are actually not observed, not followed, and there is actually an entire disinterest in the detailed explanations of the Son of God about how to live and be our peculiar and special roles. We are all equal souls. A little toddler and an elder fellow are equal before God on the inside. But each one is parked into a different family, a different culture, a different atmosphere. And everything about our cultures and our atmospheres truly do need to be observed with an attitude of joy and insight, but also of warning.